You have the power inside of you to use anytime you desire. 4 weapons that Satan uses against you. We often tend to think of the enemy, Satan, as being so very powerful that we're almost afraid of him, and we think he's going to attack us and harm us at any moment. But there are 4 weapons, actually, that Satan uses, and once we realize the weapons he uses and know how he works, you'll find it's actually very easy to overcome his attack on you. Okay, the first weapon that Satan uses is the power of suggestion, or if you like, the power to tell lies. You see, Satan cannot touch you physically. He's a spirit without a body. And it's kind of like a ghost reaching out to touch something physical. It doesn't work, you see. So in order for Satan to attack you, he needs to find somebody else that he can work through, somebody who has a body. In other words, another human being. So the only tool that Satan actually has to use against you is words. Oh, words are so powerful, aren't they? Now, realize that Satan cannot read your mind. He doesn't know everything that you are thinking. But he does have the ability to inject thoughts into your mind. Oh, and that is one of the most powerful tools that he has and that he uses against us. You see, our thoughts affect every single part of our being. When you have negative thoughts in your mind, any thoughts for that matter, but usually it's only the negative ones that give us trouble. What happens is those negative thoughts in your mind produce effects in your emotions, which is your desires and your feelings. Negative pictures in your mind can make you feel all alone and forsaken. Can make you feel like you're a total failure. And then you tend to lose all hope for the future, and sometimes you just feel like giving up. Now, all it takes to make you feel that way is negative pictures in your mind. Very easy to pick those pictures up around us. We can see it by looking at life, watching a television program where they always portray the worst. But a negative picture in your mind will have those effects on you. And one of the most severe effects is depression. Depression is not as complicated as the psychologists try to make out. You see, depression actually just comes as the result of you responding badly to some of the events in life, and your feelings go down and you get bad. And when you're depressed, you actually don't feel like doing anything. From a physical point of view, your body reactions actually slow down. They've proved that medically. Everything slows down. Your heart beats softer, your breathing, everything in your body slows down. Now, the moment that happens, you begin to lose all energy and all resources to live a normal life. And so depression brings you to the place where you don't feel like doing anything. And then because you don't do the things you're supposed to, you start to feel guilty, which makes you feel worse, which makes you feel even less like doing it, until eventually you're caught in this terrible spiral, which sometimes makes people even want to just end their lives. All of that through thoughts being put into your mind. The other kind of thoughts, of course, are thoughts of temptation, pictures of the pleasures of sin in your mind, create in you a desire to want to do those things. Now, God has made this world for us and given us some beautiful things. You know, He's given us naturally body desires, like for nourishment and eating, and to protect ourselves and to reproduce ourselves. So even the sexual desire that God has put in us is natural. But Satan wants us to use that desire wrongly and sin. And so he will put thoughts in your mind of temptation and lust and desire. Now, you can't resist these things just by gritting your teeth and saying no. It's not that easy, you see. You have to counter those thoughts with two very important things, and we'll deal with this more later: words and action. If you start to speak words against what you're thinking, if you start acting against what you're thinking, you can neutralize the effect of those words. But inevitably, what we do is we struggle with those thoughts and those intense temptation desires, and we think, you know what, I'll just give in just this once. And then next time I will stand against the temptation. Don't you see that what you've actually done is you've actually caused that temptation to become much stronger? And now Satan, who cannot read your mind, he sees you speaking out loud the things that you're desiring, and he knows, I got him, it's working. He sees you putting into action some of those thoughts you've been putting in your mind, and once again, he knows that he's having an effect. And what he's going to do then, he's going to greatly increase the attack, stronger thoughts in your mind, stronger temptations, and actually you find out next time you try and resist, it becomes even more difficult. And if you keep giving into the temptation over and over again, something else happens. A habit begins to form, and you create a pattern in your life that just takes control of you. And Satan is winning all the way to the bank, as they say. Okay. Now, how do we overcome all of this? I'm going to deal with that separately later, but for now, I just want you to understand Satan's main power is the power of deception and lies that he puts into your mind. And that's more powerful than we realize. Now, the second weapon that Satan uses is other people. Oh, life would be great if it wasn't for other people, right? Well, you know, people can affect you. How do they affect you? Well, they say things that upset you. They do things to harm you. But actually, there's far more involved. They actually release against you a spiritual power. You see, what we don't realize is that God put a piece of himself into humanity. And you have in your human spirit a tremendous power. I've written a whole book on this called Tapping Your Inner Resources, if you want to learn more about it. But you see, that power in your spirit can be used positively or negatively. When people hate you, you can literally feel it. Why is that? Because they're actually exuding a kind of supernatural spiritual power of hate against you. And just their attitude alone affects you, doesn't it? See, that power Satan wants to harness, and he wants to use it. And so he finds a person who's willing to listen to his lies and will allow him to use that power that is in their spirit and to use it against you because you are a child of God. So that's how people can affect you. First, your thoughts. Secondly, other people. And then thirdly, and this is very similar, is circumstances. How do circumstances come about? They come about through people. See, people create circumstances in this world. Now, this can affect your entire lifestyle. It can produce a situation of financial lack. It can produce a sense of feeling rejected and not accepted. And it can produce feelings of inferiority and insecurity. Here you have these people around you who are all well off, they got friends, they got influence, and here you are, poor little you, all by yourself. Nobody even wants to talk to you. Why should they? You just this ugly little nobody. And you begin to put yourself down and think that you are just too useless for God even to use. So what happens? You end up with helplessness and despair. And Satan, once again, has won. He's neutralized everything that God put in you so that you are unable to rise up and conquer and live the overcoming life that God intends for you. Okay, the other aspect that Satan uses against us, the fourth weapon, is sickness and disease. Now, how does Satan attack your body if, as we said, he's a spirit, and the spirit cannot touch you physically? Let's see how this works. See, firstly, you need to realize that your health is determined by your spirit. It's your spirit that keeps your body alive, because when your spirit leaves, your body dies, right? So for you to remain in a state of health, the power that's in your spirit needs to flow out into your soul and into your body. Then it keeps your soul healthy, and you'll avoid what has come to be known as mental illness. It'll keep your body healthy, that you walk in divine health. But you see, it must come out of your spirit first. Often it has to go through the soul first and then into the body. Now, the soul can be a big problem, because the power that's coming out of your spirit doesn't have a clear flow through your soul. And in actual fact, most of our sicknesses and diseases are highly amplified and even come as a result of the bad condition of your soul. You know this word, S-T-R-E-S-S. Stress, oh Lord, stress. Stress affects your whole body. You know that? It affects all the normal body processes. It makes your muscles tighten up when they shouldn't be. It can cause a blocking of flow of the blood in different parts of your body, taking away some of that natural energy to keep you healthy. And it can open the way for germs and viruses to now overwhelm and attack your body and produce sickness and disease. So what happens is it blocks the natural healing process. Firstly, it interferes with the body's inbuilt healing mechanism, and then it interferes with the flow of power from your spirit. Now, there are specific spirits, demons, that specialize in this, and we call them spirits of infirmity. And we have a lot of teaching out there on spirits of infirmity and how to overcome and to deal with them. But today I'm just telling you what the weapons are that Satan uses. Now, when you have this kind of spiritual demonic influence blocking the healing power, you can go to a doctor and receive treatment, and it doesn't work. You see, all that medicine does is to actually give your body an assistance in healing itself, because all healing comes naturally. The body knows how to heal itself. And when all of these things interfere, sometimes medicine can give your body an extra strength and power and make it more capable of healing itself. Okay? But medicine cannot deal with a spiritual blockage. Medicine cannot heal emotional problems. Yes, they will give you Prozac, I think it is, and these other medications for people who have emotional problems. And in extreme cases, they will give you electroshock therapy, where they put a couple of 100 volts through your brain. And the purpose of that is to actually destroy all of your memory cells so that you forget your problems. You cannot deal with emotional problems with medicine, unfortunately. Okay. Now, it may give you temporary relief from the symptoms, but it's not going to heal. Well, this is a terrible situation we find ourselves in. And is there hope? Yes, there is. And I'll tell you about that in our next publication. Amen.
You have the power inside of you to use anytime you desire. You don't need to do anything to set your spirit on fire. Just connect to the heavenly realm. Throw the switch anytime.